I do want to mention a very serious situation. About a week ago, or a week and a half ago, I was driving on Springfield Street. And when I approached the rail crossing, the red lights were flashing and the gates were down. So naturally I stopped. And a large vehicle, a truck that runs on the railroad, blew the horn and went by. The lights went out, the gates went up, and I proceeded to go across. Fortunately, I did not floor it, because right behind that big truck was another big truck coming, and the gates were still up and the lights were not flashing. This happened, there was at least 6 to 8 vehicles that used that run that day, right while I was standing there, and the gates went down 3 times, and the lights came on 3 times and went back up, and between each interval, a big vehicle went through, and if someone had not stopped, or if I had not been aware, there could have been a fatality and it would have been me. So please, if you use that road, Springfield Street, and whether or not the gates are down or flashing or they just gone up, make sure you stop and look both ways, because it is a serious, serious condition. Yep.
I wanted to ask about that gate crossing situation. Was that reported? Does the National Transportation Safety Board hear about this? I mean, gate crossings are something that the federal authorities are presumably supposed to be responsible for. A gate crossing that isn't working properly, you're absolutely right, but something we should do something.
Had I been in a hurry, Ken, as soon as the vehicle went by and the gates went up, I would have gone across. And had I done that, I would have been hit by the next train.
Do we have a contact person?
I've mentioned it to Steve. Val came and talked to me. I mentioned it to Steve, the Director of Public Works. In the past, when we've had problems with that crossing, in particular, the school buses, we worked with the railroad, and because Steve was not pleased with their pace of trying to resolve the situation, he did have the National Transportation Safety Board in, and they had a site visit to that crossing, and we had it repaired. The only thing that I can think that happened the other day is because of the type of the vehicles, where they were actually roadworthy vehicles that have the railroad lowering devices, that it sensed that one went through, and the links that activate and deactivate the lights were such a distance apart that it had sensed that they had all cleared the crossing, but we'll work it out.
Presumably you're right, but
yeah.
The point is it's a dangerous situation, and that's what that's the purpose of the gates.
Yeah.
Not to diminish the potential hazard to Mr. Raconti, I mean, school season is just around the corner.
A kid would have gone through.
And I mean, it's obviously heavy travel by inexperienced younger drivers, plus school buses that are carrying dozens of children. So I think it's the type of thing that has to be, it's really of an urgent nature because of the fact that school season